pay-per-view was a load of ass. Okay? From beginning to end. Maybe with a couple of exceptions because there were a couple of things that happened that went right. But for the most part, the pay-per-view was just structured wrong. Especially the matches. The way certain matches ended. And it's like they could have done way better than what they really tried. I understand that they were trying to do certain things with certain matches, but it just didn't go well. It was just sucky pay-per-view. I'm sorry, it was. But these are the results for Hell in a Cell 2016, so here we go. I called that the Faces would win this match for the Cruiserweights, and lo and behold, I was correct. Everybody pretty much had their spot, so it wasn't anything that was... It didn't take anything away from the pay-per-view because, quite frankly, it wasn't really part of the fucking pay-per-view. It was the pre-show. It was just something to get the crowd riled up, and that's why I picked the Faces to win, and they did. Well, if you can call these Faces, again, everyone had their spot, and that's pretty much it. The Faces won, and yeah, it was what you expected from a cruiserweight match. People flying around, people having their spots, and it didn't become a clusterfuck for a six-man tag, but for a cruiserweight style match, it was everything that you would expect, and the Faces won. The best thing about this match is that it went on first. They didn't try to save it for later in the pay-per-view. They didn't try to make this a main event. Even though it was classified as a triple main event and this was a part of it. But this wasn't later on in the show. It happened at the beginning of the show, which was the best thing that could have happened to it. But the thing about the match, it wasn't as brutal as they needed to be in order for us to fucking care. The funniest thing about it is, when Rusev came to the ring, he had the U.S. champ freaking attire, the freaking strap that went around his waist. It said U.S. champ on it. It didn't say Mashka. It didn't say Rusev. It said U.S. champ. So, going into that match wearing that was like, okay, you're fucking teasing us. And then, from that Boston crowd, there was, let's go Rusev. Rusev sucks chance. Oh God! Okay, look again. Let's make this clear. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck about Roman Reigns. Okay, especially in fucking Boston. Most of the fans are just like, fuck this guy. We need somebody else. Somebody else needs to come up in and get this United States Championship, and it has to happen pretty soon. This match, they should have gotten extra brutal. The one thing that it was missing was fucking tables. How can you be the two biggest guys, literally, that was on the Hell in a Cell card, in the Hell in a Cell, and not have tables involved? It was not... Okay, they had a chain get involved, and Rusev and Roman Reigns used it, and they had the steps get involved, and, of course, you had Rusev apply the accolade with the fucking chain on Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns mysteriously gets out of it, and gets a Samoan drop on the fucking steel steps and basically jumps into him. It wasn't even a spear. He just jumped into him. And that was it. And it was like, okay, thank goodness they got that out of the way. But it should have been brutal, really brutal, so we can actually give a fuck. And there should have been tables in this match, but there wasn't. And I was just happy when it ended. Roman Reigns retains. Now look, the best thing about this is that Bayley fucking won. There's nothing left for them to showcase here. Nothing. We don't believe in Dana Brooke anymore, and Bayley needs more momentum. She needs to move up. She needs to move somewhere. And Bayley was the only choice especially because of what happened later on in the pay-per-view, and I'll get to that later. But listen, Dana, no, we don't care about her. Her time has passed. We can't even fucking take her seriously. She was Charlotte's lackey, and that's what really did her in. That's what really fucking killed Dana's momentum, if she ever had any. Oh, and Emma getting injured, and that feud had to stop, and Dana being in limbo in the first place. But Dana beating Bayley, no. It happened on Raw, and I think that was just a call because Bayley got injured during the match or whatever. But at this pay-per-view, it was the right call for Bayley to win with the Bayley to belly. So Bayley wins that match, and thank goodness that she did. Enzo and Cass performed their usual stick on the mic with their catchphrases and everything, and calling Anderson, Andy, and Gallows Big Gal. Okay. Making fun of them, alright, and giving them names and stuff like that, but no one was really shouting Big Gal or Andy from the crowd. It's like, okay, we want to see the wrestling match and bring it on the match. Standard tag team match, and I was actually wrong, but glad about this. Anderson and Gallows actually fucking gotta win, because it's like, look, they're the fucking ones that really, really fucking need it. We need to take them seriously. We need to take them seriously as heels, because they are the ones that can actually defeat the New Day sooner or later for the championships, and more on that in a bit. But it was just a standard tag team match. Nothing pretty, nothing. There was nothing really great about it was a Raw tag team match. It was. The way it was structured, there was nothing spectacular about the fucking match. Anderson and Gallows wins, and congrats to them, because now get done with Enzo and Cass very fucking soon, so you can go on to bigger and better things. Funny, they couldn't let these two be in Hell in a Cell totally alone besides the referee. And there was garbage circumstances on how the cage door was open. Kevin Owens accidentally sprays the referee with a fucking fire extinguisher, blinding the referee, so another referee had to come up in, carry that referee out, and open the door. So, of course, Jericho runs down, gets in, locks the cage, instant fucking handicap match. Even though Jericho didn't really do anything, he was there, and he was just a threat for being there. Yes, there was chair shots. Yes, there was tables used. Yes, there was... Look, I'm just saying that they could have done this alone, but it does make Seth Rollins look strong, him losing this way, because, of course, it took two people to beat him, even though he beat them both on Raw, which makes no sense to me. But he didn't win when it counted, and now it's the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens is still the Universal Champion, and I think that is the right move for now. But the problem is, who are they going to have facing Kevin Owens next? That's the only dilemma that I see. And don't fucking pick Roman Reigns. But, yeah. It was a standard match, really. These Hell in a Cell matches were more like hardcore matches than anything else. Yes, the cage played a part, the cell played a part, but not as much. It wasn't as brutal as I thought it would be. And Jericho getting in there, surprise, surprise. I mean, it's funny how Triple H has not appeared ever since he helped Kevin Owens win the championship. And I've caught that wrong a couple of times now. I thought that Triple H was going to show up. But Jericho showing up is basically a close second, helping Kevin Owens out to retain the title. And I thought that was the safer way to go. I could have I could see going to Seth Rollins, but it didn't. Kevin Owens is still your Universal Champion. And I hope that they find another suitable opponent for him and soon. This match was structured all wrong in the first place. Even earlier in the evening, earlier in the event, before the match even took place, you got Brian Kendrick said that basically he'll suck a dick if TJ Perkins, if TJ Perkins let him win. That's basically what the conversation was. Yeah, remember our friendship. You know, I'll suck on you if you let me pin you for this belt. This is what I want. I need it. It's my last chance. Let me suck on you and let me pin you. That was basically the fucking match for the first fucking 5 minutes. Every time that a pinning predicament or anything like that, Brian Kendrick will look at it like, what are you doing? Why are you not lying down for me? Fuck that, man. Fucking wrestle. And that's what TJ Perkins was like, look, prove to me that you're Brian Kendrick of old and wrestle and actually fucking do it. And what happened was, Brian Kendrick goes for sliced bread, which is basically the Dudley dog. Okay, fine. And fakes an injury. Fakes an injury with his legs, and everyone could see where this is going. And that's why there were boos in the crowd at the time that this is happening, and the referee is checking on Brian Kendrick. And yeah, and even TJ Perkins falls for it, goes and checks on him. Brian Kendrick gives him a headbutt, and just, that was it after that. Fucking, stretched him out. And Brian Kendrick is your new Cruiserweight champion. Go figure, huh? I mean, I didn't see TJ Perkins retaining because, of course, they could still feud at this point. At least TJ Perkins can actually get it back. Brian Kendrick is the only true heel Cruiserweight that's there. So they need the title on him and to fend off certain people for a while. And then for him to cough it up. They need to do something for us to take this title seriously. Fuck that handshake shit. Fuck that. No, just get in there, wrestle, have actual fucking storylines. Actual storylines. Not the suck dick for belts shit that they tried here. They need actual storylines in order for us to take this shit seriously. So, Brian Kendrick is your new Cruiserweight champion. The funniest thing about this was, at a certain point, I actually thought that Sheamus and Cesaro were going to fucking win the belts. Because Sheamus was actually fucking cooperating for most of the fucking match. They didn't cooperate with each other, Sheamus and Cesaro, but they cooperated during the fucking match. They knew what was at stake, and they tried to actually fucking take the titles away from the New Day. And the only reason why it didn't happen is because New Day was disqualified, because Kofi Kingston, who was not in the fucking match, which surprised me a bit, did the Trouble in Paradise to Sheamus. Now, the two New Day members that were in the match were Big E and Xavier Woods, and I was very surprised. Usually, Xavier would be cannon fodder. I thought that was going to happen because I was like, whoa, Xavier's wrestling? Shit, he's the one that's going to get pinned or get submitted. And it's funny because during the disqualification itself, Xavier Woods was actually tapping out to the sharpshooter when Cesaro had it applied. Okay, it's a tricky way for the New Day to lose and to keep the belts, but they're still on the record-setting road. So, putting the belts on Cesaro and Sheamus would have made no sense. None. Even though they tried to have a friendly conversation in the back before the match, it turned to a quarrel, an argument, and then their entrances and stuff like that. They're trying to make it seem like that these two can actually get it done together and they can't get along. This storyline is not fucking working. Have them go again. They should have had a Hell in a Cell match. Seriously. Especially if it would have been for a number one contenders match. That would have been way better than this. New Day are still champions even though they lost by disqualification. Go figure. First things first. Congratulations to the WWE to have these women main event the show. But that was the only thing that went well by the fucking match. They tried not to copy and paste Mick Foley Undertaker here at certain extents. Not at the, okay. What had happened was the cage was still being lowered. Charlotte cheap shots Sasha, and then they start fighting, and they end up in the crowd. They're not even in the ring. The cage is lowered. They're not even in the ring yet. The match has not started, and they're going at it. The announcer's table was involved. They even tried climbing the cage. They climbed about halfway, and Charlotte powerbombed Sasha through the fucking announcer's table, injuring her back. They tried to have this back thing come into play again, and Sasha not being 100%, and that was going to be her Achilles heel in the match, which it was. But they tried to make it seem like she was so hurt that she couldn't fucking continue, and she couldn't walk, and she was laying down, and they brought a stretcher out and tried to wheel her back. When the announcer, JoJo, was saying that Sasha was unable to continue, and about to hand the championship to Charlotte, no, that's when Sasha was like, no, fuck that, and it was hitting referees and everything like that to get in the fucking cell, to get in the ring, and actually fucking start the match. And the match was pretty lengthy after that. It wasn't just a couple of moves and Charlotte got the pin. No, it was a lengthy match. Now, tables were brought into it. Chairs were brought into it. Even got smacked in the steel steps and even got smacked against the cell. The problem was the beginning. If these two women would have had a fight in the cell for as long as that went, without an injury taking place, and then would have had the same result, fine. It would have been more appreciated that way. I'm surprised that Sasha lost. I am. Especially in her hometown. That's a slap in the face. Charlotte, still undefeated at pay-per-views. And even though I said that on the Blaze and Mel Funsky show, shout out to you guys, by the way, that I even picked Charlotte. I didn't pick Charlotte. I picked Sasha. I did. But I kept in mind Charlotte's undefeated streak. Even on their podcast, on Blaze and Mel Funsky's podcast, I said that for a reason. And that came into play. Charlotte's, undefeated at pay-per-views. It looks like that's not going anywhere for a while. Now, the problem is this feud going to end? Or they're going to play hot potato with this belt? Bayley just got past Dana. Is Bayley the next in line for the shot for the title? Even though she has a fucking injured shoulder and that Charlotte can target it. That's the only thing I see here if the boss can't perform or compete because of her back. They're going to stress out the injuries of Hell in a Cell and how brutal it was and anything like that. But the Hell in a Cell matches were mediocre. They were. They weren't brutal. They were like hardcore matches with just a big-ass cage around them that was locked so no one can interfere. But one of the matches got interfered on anyway. One was they're trying to do the whole carry her out. And the thing about it is, it was reminiscent to almost carrying Foley out and Foley saying no and continuing the fucking match then on through. Like I say, I understand what they're trying to do, but it wasn't performed right. Most of the pay-per-views, the way the matches ended were not correct in my opinion. The one Hell in a Cell match that ended correctly was one that we didn't fucking care about. And that was Roman versus Rusev. We didn't fucking care about that. But it ended with a spear. Well, hopping into Rusev. But at least it ended like that. They could have done this pay-per-view way fucking better. They could have had just one-on-one drag-out fights and shit like that for the Hell in a Cell matches. They could have had a tag team match, the tag team title match end in a different way. They could have had anything better than a cruiserweight suck your dick for belt storyline. They could have had something different for Enzo and Cass and Anderson and Gallows. They could have. That match could have been better. That's what I'm saying about that. And Dana and Bayley, I'm not even sure that shit should have taken place in the first place because we don't fucking believe in Dana anymore. But those are the results for Hell in a Cell 2016. So, I don't know. Tell me, did you guys watch the event? And what do you think about these results? Are they yeah, or are they like yeah? Or did you even give a fuck about the event in the first place? Because again, this was mediocrity. It was like, and some of the matches ending is like, why the fuck they in that way? WWE has to fix that, and they have to fucking fix that soon, because it's like, damn, you need to end your matches on a higher note, on a better note. Even the women's Hell in a Cell match, it ended with natural selection. Come on. You could have done something better than that for something as record-breaking and record-setting and history-making as your first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Drop kicks, body slams, throwing motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.